Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Doesn't matter where you have Capricorn in your chart. If it resonates for you, then take it. If not, then don't. So, Capricorn. A couple of messages coming through. The first one, there was a Capricorn reading. I feel like it was a moon reading, but I can't quite remember. I'll link it above. That is something about divine justice coming through for you. So that's the energy that is sort of starting off the reading. So that's the first message. The second download that I was receiving is the animal mountain lion for you, Capricorn, which is really interesting because whenever an animal comes through, I always Google it. That's just like my the first thing that I do normally. And so according to Google, the mountain lion is also synonymous with puma and cougar. So those two, it's interesting because those two titles or names, cougar and puma, both have sort of like other like associations is what I would say, but they're all the same animal. So for you specifically, it was coming through as mountain lion, which is feeling more like your energy is one of a lion, which we, of course, normally associate with fire, right? Leo, desert, desert, I guess. Sort of the landscape that the lion lives in, but mountain lion comes in with a much different energy, even though it's still a lion, so to speak. It's a large cat energy. So for the mountain, it's coming through as earth, right? Which is you, Capricorn. The mountain, earthy. It's also kind of coming through as being like achieving something, which is interesting because I feel like you're coming in with this mountain lion energy. So I'll leave the sort of interpretation to you. You can Google that on your own and sort of see what jumps out to you. What I was receiving from that, though, is that like there may be sort of an energy here where like your energy feels like very intense is kind of how it's coming through. Very independent, I feel like. Also like top of your game, like very sort of on point. I feel like you have a lot of high expectations of other people. And so when other people don't meet your expectations, it could be sort of like disappointing or, whatever emotion that is. There's something about like maybe there's somebody that you're wanting to work with or collaborate with or have a relationship with or however this relates to you, but they're not meeting your expectations. It's kind of coming through like that, like it's like they're okay, so personally, I'm an Aries Libra. I associate more with Aries personally than Libra, but anyways, both of those are the same. They're opposite one another, so they're aspects of both. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's not about me. Where Aries and Libra are both squares to Capricorn, right? And so I've always been surrounded by Capricorn energy as being those that sort of like help me to grow, right? Like through challenge. They challenge me to grow is how I see Capricorn energy. And so there may be something here about like maybe you're challenging somebody to grow and maybe they don't want to. It's kind of how it's going. Maybe they don't want to, or maybe there's something about that they're struggling with your expectations. There is sort of like an intensity in your energy or your expectations that I feel like is making this one uncomfortable, making somebody uncomfortable perhaps. It does kind of feel like there's like an interesting energy happening with boundaries, because it is kind of coming through as like somebody that you maybe work with, but you have a problem with their personal life, for example. Or it's like it's something like you want to collaborate with this person, but their extracurricular activities sort of get in the way of that. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe you have an expectation of them that they would sort of like stop doing their extracurricular activities in order to focus more on the work that you were supposed to be doing together. And it's like maybe they're not willing to give that up, is how it's coming through. It's so that's where the boundaries are feeling like it's like is their work being impacted by something that they're doing outside of work. And there's like this interesting energy here of boundaries. Because I feel like whoever it is that you're dealing with, that perhaps there's like, I don't know, it feels kind of like, if it's not straight up conflict, it's just like something that you need to like work through together. I feel like maybe there's just like different alignment of goals and priorities. For you, Capricorn, it may be sort of like, okay, I need to get this done, this and this done, but there's someone who you're working with or whatever. Doesn't have to be work related, but that's just how it's coming through for you, where it's like they're putting up a boundary about work versus personal life. And I feel like they're not going to sacrifice their personal life in order to work with you, is how it's coming through. So it's kind of like there's, or flip it if this is not resonating for you. Maybe you are not willing to sacrifice some aspect of your personal life or your personal boundaries or your inner sanctum is what I just heard. Your inner sanctum. There's something about like protecting your boundaries or your inner sanctum from an energy here that is like, I don't know. There's something like frivolous is the word that's coming through, like frivolous. They don't take things seriously, maybe. Or they're not as serious about something than you are. It just kind of feels like it's a difference in priorities and goals and alignment. And so there may be sort of like challenge there, is just how it's coming through. So I'm going to pull cards, Capricorn. Yeah, empty well. Time to replenish. Whatever the situation is, feels like it's kind of draining your energy. Maybe it's something that you should, like, I feel like it's something that you're struggling to walk away from for some reason. Like, maybe there's a feeling of like somebody did not fulfill their side of the deal. don't know if that's true or not, Capricorn. It feels kind of like, I feel like there's something about like the situation. I don't know if it's like this person or like something that you're dealing with that is draining you with the empty well. Time to replenish, like time to walk away from something, time to go try something new. Time to maybe like reach out to some new people is how it's coming through. Perhaps you are in this, I actually think that you are in this place, or like it was kind of coming through as being like you're in a temporary place at the moment. It feels very temporary for you, like where you are currently. Whatever it is that you're engaged in currently feels temporary. Like either a temporary solution or a temporary place. But there is sort of like an upcoming, perhaps ending or deadline that you're facing is how it's coming through. Like there's something where you know the situation's going to end eventually. I don't know when that date is for you. Obviously, that's going to be specific to each of you. Maybe there's some sort of, well, maybe you're holding out until that, until the last possible moment is how it's feeling. There may be sort of stress or anxiety about what happens after this deadline passes. Like what happens after that. There may be, well, I don't know. It kind of feels like maybe, so there may be something about like where it is you are now feels uncomfortable, or where it is you are now feels good, but what comes after the deadline feels uncomfortable. I don't know which one it is. Okay, I need to pull another card. It kind of feels like whatever's on the other side of this deadline feels like the uncomfortable aspect. Because it feels unknown. Like anxiety about the unknown. I feel like with the mountain lion as well, because it may be something where I feel like there's a significant person that you're having sort of difficulties with, where you may be seeing something about their energy that is like something that you may be rejecting within yourself, like an aspect of yourself that you're rejecting. And I feel like it has to do with the mountain lion. So there may be something about that energy within yourself, like an aspect of yourself that is the mountain lion, but you're uncomfortable with that for some reason. Okay, gonna pull another card. Dust Devil. My gosh, moving out of stagnation. All three of the earth signs have gotten this card. Taurus, Virgo, now Capricorn have pulled this card, the Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. You have 15 and 16 coming out, like 16, 15. Yeah, Capricorn, I feel like, because it does feel like a countdown to something. Today's the 18th. Because I also feel like whatever this energy is that feels kind of like disruptive for you, like there's an energy that feels disruptive that maybe you're trying to protect yourself from, or that there's like a very firm boundary that you're putting up. And in order to keep this energy out, right? That's how it's feeling. This card always comes through with it like this message that this energy is actually trying to move you out of a place where there has been stagnation. I feel like though whatever energy that they're bringing into the situation actually is something that's uncomfortable for you. I actually feel like whatever it is that this energy is bringing to you is something where it's like it's meant to replenish something about your energy, but that there's discomfort in like receiving that for some reason. Because I'm like really drawn to the fire and water in this card. It could be something like opposite, like it's like really opposite to you, or that there's like kind of like a love-hate energy kind of coming through. It's like a fine line between love and hate, and you may be walking that line, Capricorn, where it's like it may be triggering, it may be like causing anger, but at the same time it's something that you on some level are craving in some way or want in some way. It's kind of like, and that might be part of the like there's like rejection or boundaries, like something about like you want to be close to this person, but then when you are close to them it like triggers you, or it angers you, or it's like they do something that makes you really upset or something like that. But then when you're apart from them, you want to be close, right? It's kind of coming through like really, really tricky energies there. Yeah. 45. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. I'm going to read that one. And then dances on one foot. So 4 and 5 add to 9, which is here. Okay, 1 second. Forgiveness, making amends, recognition of our unity. Between us all is a thin veil appearing to be a space that separates us. We look through this veil and believe ourselves to be distinct from each other. We assume that our thoughts and feelings are our own. We see bodies and objects and the spaces between them, so we engage the world in relationships between a duality of us and them. This veil serves as a mysterious illusion, making it so hard to believe in our inherent connection and unity. We can't always remember that what we do to someone else, we at the same time do to ourselves. When we claw at the veil out of fear, anger, jealousy, or resentment, manipulate another, misuse our power, or allow someone's actions to diminish us, we create a wound felt by many, not just those of us in the smaller direct relationship. Now is the time to examine where your actions have caused difficulty or harm to someone else, and also where you have been the recipient of harm. Regardless of what side you are on, it's important to take responsibility for healing this rift by bringing love, compassion, deep listening, and presence to whatever is not in harmony. Do this for you and for your own liberty as you become an unwitting hostage once you take the role of perpetrator or victim, both positions of weakness. Let go of all your resentments, know your part in the dynamic, and make the appropriate amends with that newfound wisdom and understanding. Healing, forgiveness, and mending what is broken in your world is a sweet, much-needed declaration of freedom. Okay. With the devil energy, because this is sort of like, it comes through with devil, but it's not really like the typical meaning of the devil card. Because that's you, Capricorn, right? The devil energy, the devil card represents Capricorn, I should say. This one feels kind of like seeing devil energy in somebody else. That's how it's coming through. Oh, that's tricky. That's why this sort of like repairing the veil card is really This is a tricky one. Forgiveness, the energy of forgiveness. There's a needle and thread here, which I think is like really interesting because I've been I found something yesterday that I've been looking for, a secondhand serger. It's not a sewing machine because I have a secondhand sewing machine already. A serger is something where it's like a different machine that does a different function. It sort of cleans up the edges. That's sort of what I'm seeing here. This ribbon here actually looks like what a serger would do. It cleans up the edges of the fabric so that it doesn't fray. That's interesting. So anyway, I found a serger yesterday, secondhand. It's in working condition. I probably have to get like a tune-up, but it's working, and I found it, and I felt extremely lucky for finding it yesterday. It was something that I was intentionally looking for, and it's really funny that like when I got to the thrift store, somebody else was actually looking at the serger like really like intently, and I was like, oh, maybe it's too late. I missed my opportunity. And then he put it down, and I snatched it up. There's something about divine timing coming through with the repairing the veil. There's something about cleaning up the edges, preventing something from fraying further, like closing something off through forgiveness, perhaps. I feel like there's also this energy here of like walking away from something that maybe is not serving you anymore. It is kind of coming through with like tying off loose ends as well. There could also be this energy of like cleaning something up. Okay. So you have stingray, tiger, and earthworm. Interesting. Okay. So stingray is coming out with the empty well. This talks about accepting a radical change. Interesting that I was saying tune up, because I feel like there's something about like, because I sometimes see that with this card, like your energy getting a tune-up, like everything in alignment, all systems working together, that kind of thing. So that's coming out under the empty well. There may be sort of there perhaps was an energy. Perhaps you're in the place right now of replenishing your energy, where it's like you're getting an energetic tune-up at the moment. Wherever it is that like you're in that feels temporary, it feels like that place that you're in, however long you're there for, the temporary energy is in order for you to get a tune-up energetically on something. I actually feel like it's like revealing something about like the next step for you. Because it's kind of like, well, imagine that you're going on a long trip. Like a road trip, for example. Imagine that you're going on a road trip. So this kind of feels like your car's in the shop to make sure everything's in working order so that when you go on the trip, there's no surprises, everything runs smoothly, that kind of thing. That's how it's feeling. It feels like you're in a replenishing energy at the moment. Something in terms of your energy is being aligned or realigned. Okay. Developing confidence, sense of self, or spine, in quotations. The Stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the Stingray must decide between the old, which is easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, which is challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the Stingray is too strong to ignore. Yeah. Okay, so there's something here about, like, as I was saying, right? Like, where you are now is temporary. I feel like after this deadline, whatever that is for you, it could be like an actual date. It could just be like some sort of divine timing aspect that you are or are not aware of. I feel like you would be aware of this, though. It's kind of like this is the point for you to make a decision. It's like a pivotal point in terms of like returning to the old, which is easy, familiar, comfortable, or making a decision to change something or go into the new, which is uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and strange. And whatever it is that the unfamiliars is coming through like this with the tiger energy, the dust devil, I feel like this is someone else, the tiger. Or like, so it could be something where it's like, this is a person that you're, because you're the mountain lion, Capricorn. I feel like this is something where it's like you're dealing with a tiger. And that might be uncomfortable because it's like you're similar. You're both like big territorial cats, but different environments that you're used to. Whatever it is, there is at least enough of a difference to make it uncomfortable is how it's coming through. It may be sort of like moving out. There may be something about like territory or space or boundaries. I feel like there may be sort of like this one's establishing a boundary with you, Capricorn. Someone may be establishing a boundary with you, and that might be making you uncomfortable. Or it may be that you have to rethink something because this one is establishing a boundary. They're not letting you in, is how it feels. I actually feel like there's something that this one wants from you first. Like you have to say the magic password. They're not letting you into their territory is how it's feeling. They're not letting you in to their space. Because it's something here about repairing the veil. Earthworm. Again, feel free to flip this. It could be that you're not letting somebody into your space as well. It's an interesting energy here where it's like mirroring, but you're seeing what's being mirrored is the difference between you two, which is like even more uncomfortable. It's like, it's not that you're mirroring what's the same about you. What's being mirrored is like how you are different. So there's something here, okay, with the earthworm, repairing the veil, where, because the earthworm is another uncomfortable energy, right? It's, okay, so it says shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. Okay. Nightingale at the bottom of the deck. I actually feel like this is somebody that you want to work with, but there's a dispute of territory or boundaries is kind of how it's coming through. Like, this one's not letting you into their space. And it's like, I don't know, maybe you're feeling like the way that they are establishing this boundary with you may feel very uncomfortable, because maybe in the past for you, it's never been sort of an issue that whatever it is that they're bringing up for you, where they're saying, like, I'm not going to engage in this way with you, that might be something where it's like most people wouldn't have this problem with you, Capricorn. Most people would not have this problem with you. In fact, I feel like most people actually like this part of you, right? Like that, of course, there's something about, like, most people that you engage with in this way absolutely love this part of you, right? This is something that is, like, perhaps like your strength, something that you're proud of, something that, like, you're very, like, it feels like something that you're proud of. But whoever this person is, the one that you want to work with, they are saying no to that part of you, is actually kind of how it's coming through. They don't like that part, or maybe that's too harsh. It's not that they don't like that, but it's like it's different from how they are used to engaging with people. So it's like there's an uncomfortable, awkward earthworm energy about this dynamic, because it's like you're both trying to figure out how the other person operates, and it's totally different than how you operate. And so there's like trying to figure out where these, like, each other's boundaries are. I'm trying to, like, I apologize for chuckling a little bit, because it's like there's a discomfort there. There's discomfort in sort of like navigating these boundaries, and and I feel like there's a little bit of laughter that's necessary, to be honest, Capricorn. There's also something about, like, the Chinese zodiac, which is by year, not by month, that might be significant. Maybe you're born in the year of the tiger. Interesting. Because I feel like whoever it is that you're dealing with is definitely not a compatible sign in that way. That's how it's feeling. Tiger's very serious. The Lovers and the Empress. Okay, these are your first two cards. I feel like you've made a choice to nurture yourself with the Empress. With the Lovers card coming out first, like, you're making a choice to replenish your energy, which is really positive, Capricorn. You're in sort of like this, perhaps you're also establishing boundaries with other people, right? I actually feel like you're not letting other people into your space. So feel free to, like, I feel like there's an interesting thing happening where this whole reading could be entirely flipped because there's an energy here of mirroring that's happening. Because when you're making like, if you're making like clothing, for example, right? You have the front and the back, which are mirror images of one another, right? They're the same image but mirrored. And then you, like, when you sew them together, right? And then they flip open. That's really interesting. Because that's what I'm seeing here with the repairing of the veil. Forgiveness. You are mirror images of one another. The same pattern cut out, but opposite. And it's like there's something about like you're being sewn together in some way. And that could be uncomfortable. It's kind of coming through like there's a lot of discomfort here in this new energy of like being sewn together. Nine of Cups. Maybe you're getting an attunement to joy and happiness and satisfaction with the Nine of Cups, because I see this card as being like attunement, like frequency wise with the sound bath, like because sound can be sort of healing and it aligns all of your chakras. There could be something about that, like you're receiving like an attunement to joy and happiness and satisfaction, whatever the Nine of Cups is. And interesting, it feels kind of like it's like because it's like okay, so you know when you have like there's something about frequency, right? Like if you have something that like I'm seeing a couple images. One where it's like, you know, when in movies and things like that where there's like an opera singer who sings like a really, really high pitched note and it breaks the glass. And what happened, I don't know if that's actually possible, but like what happens is that the glass is the exact frequency as what the singer is singing, and so it shatters it, right? Same thing with like bridges. If you've seen like those videos of like a bridge collapse where it's just swaying, it's because the wind is blowing at the exact frequency that the bridge is. Like, I know I'm not saying that properly, but like it's like something to do with like matching frequencies. And so the bridge collapses. Oh, okay. That's really interesting because it's like something about like okay, maybe, okay, because it's like there, and so I'm gonna stick with that bridge energy, right? Like for engineering students, they all wear that like ring, right? Engineering students like receive like a ring when they're whatever, I don't know at what point, probably when they graduate, to remind them, it's like made out of iron or something from a bridge that broke, in order to remind them of the importance of their job, right? Like that kind of thing. And part of like that bridge resonance is something about like, in order to prevent that, right? In order to prevent a bridge from collapsing from like the frequency of the wind blowing, is that like, they intentionally introduce sort of like different I think materials or something, or like different things that have different resonant frequencies, so that if there is a wind that's blowing really strongly, there's enough difference in the materials, is what I want to say, so that the bridge does not collapse, so that you don't get that like continuous swaying back and forth that causes the collapse, if that makes sense. Because it's like there are different things sort of resonating at different frequencies, and so the strength of the bridge becomes stronger. That's how it's coming through. So it could be something where if you have with the empty well experienced anything where something has collapsed, it's perhaps because there were energies that were too similar, like where it was like the wind was blowing you and whatever structure was that you were creating in a way where it was like the exact frequency to destroy the bridge or to break the glass or like whatever. And so in order to prevent that, to strengthen the bridge the next time, is to introduce difference in terms of like materials that have a different resonating frequency than you. That's how it's coming through. So it's like if there was something that collapsed or broke, or like the bridge collapse is kind of how it's coming through, it was because all of the materials that were used to create the bridge were the exact frequency to destroy it, if that makes sense. Because it's also coming through with like microwaves, right? Like microwaves are the exact frequency of water, and so it heats up the water. It creates like it's kind of, it's really interesting. Okay, so I feel like whatever you're going through right now, it's almost like clearing out all the dust. Perhaps the dust is settling after some sort of like collapse. And you're starting again, it feels like. And I feel like there's an energy here with this tiger of being like, okay, are you ready to rebuild? Because if you are, it's not going to be the same as the last time. And it's going to be different. There's going to be different materials that are used, because the first time the materials didn't work. Maybe you don't have a choice in what materials are incorporated, Capricorn. Maybe that's not up to you. Strength. So many big cats here, right? This is Leo. Coming out under the tiger. And the Queen of Cups. Interesting. Okay, because there's something also about like the different structures, because lions, for example, have a different hierarchical structure than tigers do. And I think mountain lions are actually more similar to tigers in terms of like solitary, independent, territorial, do not travel in packs, right? Versus a lion, which has sort of like the pride, right? The one male surrounded by a group of females. I feel like you're surrounded by feminine energy, Capricorn. But I feel like whatever this feminine energy is that's around you, the tiger, very different than the feminine energies that are surrounding you. There's a different structure within their way of operating, perhaps. Like, perhaps the way that they build connections is very different than how you build connections. Perhaps they're a bit more solitary than you are. or flip it if that's not resonating. It like there's just, it's highlighting difference. So whatever side you're resonating with, that's for you. The other person is the opposite of that is how it's coming through here. But again, that is what's needed in order to prevent the bridge from collapsing, is introducing elements that resonate at a different frequency. So that in case there is a wind that blows at the specific frequency of your whatever energy, you're not going to collapse because you have another frequency that's going to keep the bridge stable while that's happening, and vice versa. Seven of Swords coming out under the earthworm. Okay. And repairing the veil. The Seven of Swords talks to me about withholding. Queen of Pentacles. Withholding resources. I'm just going to say it like it is. That's how it's coming through. Queen of Coins is you, Capricorn. Maybe you're feeling like somebody's withholding resources from you, or vice versa, or that there's like, with the earthworm, it feels kind of like, again, with the expectations, maybe you're expecting a lot from this person, but they feel like they can't meet those expectations, or that like, they're still at the earthworm stage in comparison to you. Knight of Coins. Yeah, they're at the Knight. So it's like, okay. There's because with the Seven of Swords, this comes through with like Five of Swords, Two of Swords energy, right? Like both of those energies are included here. You might be in a Two of Swords, like at a standstill, not sure what to do, because there may be like a Knight of Pentacles who is withholding something from you. That might be your perception anyways. With the Seven of Swords, it could be something like you may feel like there's dishonesty, or that there's perhaps, well, Knight of Coins is very reliable though. Like so it's like maybe it is dishonesty, I don't know. Knight of Cups or immaturity, I don't know. It could be you think that they're very immature because now you have Queen of Cups, Knight of Coins. Queen of Coins, Knight of Cups, right? It's interesting. That's okay. So maybe it's like these are the two strength and weaknesses aspects of each of you, right? Where it's like one's a queen in the water, the other's a queen in the pentacles, and then you're both knights in the opposite element, if that makes sense. So there's like this energy here of like, okay, you would actually work well, water and earth, right? There's, which is also the earthworm repairing. This is what I'm saying by mirroring. You're mirroring one another, but what you're mirroring is the differences. And it's coming through as being water versus earth. One is the queen in earth, one is the queen in water. And there's perhaps like needing to learn from the other person about those respective elements. But with the Seven of Swords, that's what's needing to be healed, I think. The forgiveness aspect of the Seven of Swords. Maybe there was dishonesty. Maybe there was withholding. Maybe there were sharp words. Maybe there was arguments. Maybe there was the world. That's coming to an end. That's ending, feels like. I feel like maybe there's like something happening of seeing the other person's experience, like experiencing something through their eyes, like putting yourself, like a perspective taking, like putting yourself in their shoes and seeing how maybe they're feeling about the situation. It could be something like that. Five of Cups, King of Cups, the Moon, Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Ten of Wands, Eight of Swords. There's a lot of closed off energy here. It feels like there's something about, like, because this Ten of Coins feels like building materials. Like you have a bunch of building materials. But maybe you don't know what to do with it. And it's like this person knows what to do with it. But maybe you don't trust them. Maybe there was dishonesty. Maybe there was Seven of Swords behavior. Maybe they're trying to negotiate something. Maybe they want something from you. Maybe there's like this energy here of like there was separation. I feel like for you, Capricorn, you're in this energy. Queen of Swords, Ten of Wands, Eight of Swords. Like feeling stuck because of their lack of cooperation. Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the Nightingale. I feel like maybe you're feeling stuck because of their lack of cooperation. And I feel like they know this. It feels like, because it's like, but for them, what they're saying is that they're not going to cooperate in the same manner that caused the separation in the first place, because they're like, it's feeling like they're establishing a boundary with you or you with them. There may be an outside influence that's trying to bring you together, but there may be resistance about that on both sides because neither one of you want to surrender any territory, is how it's coming through. I feel like whoever you're dealing with has like really strong boundaries. They're not letting you in until, or they're not engaging with you until some form of expectation has been met. And perhaps that's what they're waiting for. They might actually be withholding information from you until some expectation has been met. And maybe you're not willing to meet that expectation, or vice versa. Like, it's like there is a feeling of stuckness in this dynamic because one or both parties are unwilling to meet the other person's expectations. And that might just be something where it's like somebody has to give. I don't know who it's going to be, and it feels like you don't want to be the one to do that. So it's like, okay, I don't know how we move forward from this point. Because it may be something where it's like you don't approve of their personal life or who they surround themselves with, or vice versa. So anyways, okay. You are about to shine. The armadillo. Just as we see Armadillo wearing an armor of scales, this reinforces the idea of going inward. The inward work is exactly what allows us to shine outward. This inner contemplation leads to a more brilliant inner light that will eventually be witnessed and felt by all. Armadillo says that what you have to offer will be recognized. Do not get bogged down with how or when. Do not be led by outside validation. Instead, be led by the greater consciousness you were created from. We connect to our inner light when we connect to the source that created us. Armadillo's medicine asks you to create a very intimate relationship with that which created you. You're being asked to level up your daily prayers and create a dialogue with life. Drop all your wants and desires and create an intense conversation with the great mystery about receiving guidance to do what you were created to do. We all have a special gift that lies dormant within us, waiting to actualize. In this moment, a deep connection to the great mystery, a mysterious energy begins to activate our gift. This conversation and prayer you create needs to feel very real. Prayer does not need to look one specific way. It is intimate communion with that which you were created from. Start speaking to life. If you create this intense and mystical relationship with life daily, you will begin to witness yourself unlocking all your gifts. Life speaks back to those who speak to it, but it is your job to start the conversation. You might not receive an answer right away, but it will come to you with full force in the perfect way at the right time. Armadillo's medicine says that you are about to be seen, heard, felt, witnessed, understood, and recognized. It's coming for you. You are about to shine so brightly, but now is the before time where you first must ignite your gift of light through going inward and channeling the universe. Okay, Capricorn. I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.